Welcome to the beginning of Chapter 5, where we start to look at the relationships between parallel lines and the different types of angles that are formed. Our goals are to recognize what a plane is, recognize transversals, identify angles formed by a transversal, that's going to be the real key, recognize parallel lines, and that's more on that later. What is a plane? A plane is a flat surface that continues on infinitely in all directions. So basically it's a flat surface that's going to continue on forever in all directions. So think of a floor, think of a desk, dry erase board, textbook, the top of the textbook. Those are all examples of planes. Now again, they're not perfect planes because they don't continue on forever, but they're representations of planes. Plane has no height, only a length and a width. We have types of lines. There are two types of lines associated with planes, so lines inside of a plane. There's coplanar, which means line segments or rays that lie in the same plane, and the non-coplanar, line segments or rays that lie in different planes. If they're in the same plane, there are one of two options. One is that they're parallel lines or they're intersecting. So lines that are coplanar can either be intersecting or parallel. If they are intersecting, then there's going to be a third line that could potentially intersect them called a transversal. And it's a line that intersects two coplanar lines, and it's all relative to these other two. So in this diagram, if we have the lines A and B, we want to identify the transversal in the following diagram. So if we look very carefully at our diagram here, we got, oops, let me go back. There we go. If we look at our diagram here, we've got these two lines, A and B, and then we have another line, C, that's going to be intersecting both of those. That line C, right here, is called our transversal. That's the line that intersects both A and B. Regions of intersecting lines. If you have a region that's between two lines, so line L and line M, we call that the interior. Anything else is the exterior. It's outside of the lines. And the reason we need to know this is it's going to lead into what we're talking, the main idea of the section is angles formed by the transversals. There's three different types of angles that we can have formed by these intersecting lines. First type is called alternate interior angles. So based on the naming of it, alternate means they're going to be on opposite sides of the transversal. Interior means they're both between the lines that we're referring to. So if I have this line right here, this top line, and this bottom line, and this line that cuts both of those is the transversal, angle 1 and angle 2 are on opposite sides of the transversal, but they're both between the lines. And it's important that you understand that they're not next to each other. If they're next to each other, they just form a straight line. They're supplementary. But in this case, they form a different kind of shape. And depending on how your diagram's set up, you're going to be looking for a Z shape or an N shape if you were to highlight your angles out. So if you get that Z shape, those angles inside there, the 1 and 2, are your alternate interior angles. Alternate exterior angles, it's the same basic principle, except our diagram looks a little bit different. Instead of our angles being inside the lines, they're going to be outside the lines. They're in the exterior. They're still on opposite sides of the transversal. So we have angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. These angles are also alternate exterior angles. And I couldn't come up with a really great way to remember them, so the opposing V's tend to work. So if you have a V here, and they have another V going in the opposite direction, this line here connects them. And then the third type is called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal. One is inside, and one is outside. And again, they're not right next to each other. So looking right here, we have angle 5 and angle 7. Angle 5 is between the lines, and angle 7 is not. But they are both on the right side of this transversal. So because of that relationship of being in this position right here and this position right here, we're going to call those corresponding. Now if we were to look for a quick and easy way to find them, if we highlight these guys out, those angles, we get the letter F. Now again, you might have to turn your paper or reflect it or or do something like that to see the letter F, but know there's going to be a shape that looks kind of like an F when you've got those corresponding angles.